I'm Chef Sarah, and today we're going to make a Thai curry inspired marinade. So over here I have a neutral flavored oil. You can use anything you want. This one is avocado, but you can also use canola or vegetable will be fine. This is shrimp paste. It smells disgusting, but it also adds a depth of flavor that you can't really get anywhere else. This is cilantro, fresh cilantro, lime, garlic. These are spicy dried red chilies. This is ginger. This is galangal. Flavor profile on that is similar to, I guess you could probably describe it like a cross between pine and horseradish. That's the best way I can describe it. This is lemongrass, and when I'm preparing this, I'll show you guys how you can save the stems and regrow it. This is cumin seed. The cumin seed here is whole, and I've toasted that, and it brings out the essential oils in it. This one is coriander. It's better if you can get whole coriander, but I had this on hand, so we're going to use this. It's also been toasted. And then I just have salt and pepper. Okay, so next we're going to do a few ingredients that you might not recognize or maybe not have worked with. So this is ginger, and the way I'm going to prepare that is very simply with a spoon. You can peel this one pretty easy. And it's easier than using a peeler because it has a point to it so you can get into the grooves of things. So you just, I would say for this recipe what we're doing, you want to go with about 1 inch of it. And we're going to be using the mortar pestle, but it's very important that you break the ginger down somewhat because it's very fibrous, and if you don't, it's going to look like you have little hairs in your marinade. So I've peeled the ginger, and I have about the 1 inch that I wanted, so I'm just going to go thin slices this way. And there's not a huge science to this one, but you just want to chop it up a little bit, like I said, so it doesn't have those long fibers. So just like that will be fine. And we're going to, actually let me run it through one more time just in case. Okay, so we're going to set that aside, and we're going to go on to the next ingredient. Okay, the next one's lemongrass, and I told you I'll show you how to preserve this part so you can regrow it. So this is the stem right here. Just kind of trim off a little bit of the stem, and then about that much. And this stuff is very usable for your recipe, but since we want to try and regrow it, we'll just keep that on there. Okay, otherwise you just peel off the outside if it's not looking super fresh. That's not super fresh. And then you want to cut it off where you kind of bend it and see where the more fibrous or tougher part begins. Over here you don't want any of that, so just cut that off about there. A lot of people do this. I don't know how necessary it is, but it does help in bringing out the essential oil, so you can use the back of your knife and just kind of like smash it a little bit. And we're going to use the mortar and pestle on this, so we're just going to go fine as you can for now. Anything you can do now will help you later. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, same kind of thing with the garlic. It's okay if we smash it because it'll help bring out those oils. So we're just going to smash the clove with the kind of papery outside, and that will help us peel it really quick. And there's a little stem there. There's a little, or well, not stem, but point that it was attached. If you cut that off, that can also make it easier for you to peel. Okay, so we have our garlic, and then basically what we're going to do is just peel it, and then we're going to just run our knife through it really quickly because we'll be smashing it later. Okay, so running the knife through. Okay, that's it. And I'm just putting all of my garlic and lemongrass in the same container because why not? It's going in the same place eventually. And then we have this guy, which to be honest I have not had too much exposure to. It's a root. It is extremely strong, tough, and it's strong in flavor as well. So this one I'm actually going to take down less than I took down the ginger, just a little bit less. And then to peel this, because the skin is thicker, I'm just going to kind of cut it off. And I have a feeling that a little bit is going to go quite a long way. So we're going to do that. Set the side. If you guys have peels of anything, you can always use that for flavor. You can always make stock, boil it up. There doesn't have to be any waste on that. Okay, so the same thing here. I'm just going to go thin. This to me is very fibrous. And I'm just going to go about there. Run my knife through it again. This one is a lot tougher, more woody, more fibrous. I'm going to run my knife through this a couple more times just because I want to help myself when I go to grind it up in the mortar and pestle. Okay, next is just your basic cilantro. Same thing here. Run your knife. Don't waste the stems, especially in an application like this. If you're doing something that you need nice, pretty leaves in, that's one thing, but this one, it's just going to be a paste, so go use the stems. And then finally we have a lime. You can roll it actually. Roll it like this. This will break down the lime cells and then it makes it more juicy, easier to extract the lime. And then you can cut it in half and it's ready to go. I'll just stick that in a bowl. So we have galangal, we have garlic and lemongrass here, lime and cilantro. Okay, so this part we're going to start grinding everything and mixing it together. So I'm going to start with the things that are most dense and can benefit the most from having the oils extracted. So I'm going to do about half of this, which is maybe about a teaspoon of cumin. Those are cumin seeds. And because the coriander is powdered, I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there too. That way we can kind of like bring it back to life. About a teaspoon of that also. And so with this, you're just gonna, there's all kinds of ways that they say you can do it. It doesn't, if you're using spices, you want to use a grinding motion. The more texture you have on your bowl, the better it is. That way you can get the best result in the shortest period of time. You can pause. Okay, so that's pretty good. And the next one would be the chilies. This one you're going to have to be careful with because they're very spicy and it will make you sneeze, it will make you cough. And you can break them down a little bit if you want to get a good start on it. It's a good idea to use gloves anytime you use any kind of chilies. The smaller the chili, the spicier it is. These ones are pretty hot, so just break them down. You do the same motion as the grinding motion with this one. Some things you're going to kind of smash and things that you're going to grind. These ones you're going to grind. And you can come see the result. And this is a marinade. It doesn't have to be super refined, so I would think that's completely acceptable because it's not something that you're going to season and need the refined bits. Okay, next I'm going to go in order of density. So I'm going to go with the galangal, the ginger, and the garlic. Put that in there. And that's going to be about a tablespoon of each. Same thing. Using kind of a scraping motion to get it down to the bottom. Okay, next we're going to go cilantro. That'll be about a 1/4 cup rough chopped. Okay. Finally, the least dense items is going to be just a little bit of shrimp paste. This is just for depth of flavor. You don't really want to taste it a whole lot. You just want to wonder why it's so good and not tell anybody. Okay, there's that. And I'm going to go ahead and add in the salt and pepper. Salt's really good for basically, what do you call that? So weird. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
Abrasive. I'm going to put in the avocado oil. Again, a neutral flavored oil. You have a lot of flavor going on. You don't want to mask it. And then we're going to squeeze in some lime for acidity. Alright, and then you have your finished curry paste. And you can use this in if you wanted to marinate fish, chicken, beef, anything you want. It's a good, versatile, savory marinade. Just one example of what you can do with this marinade. It's really a curry paste is what it is, so it's really versatile. This is just a piece of skirt steak. I just threw it on there. It's going to marinate for an hour or two, maybe overnight, depending on what I want to do for dinner tonight. In chilies, there's quite a few chilies in this one, so it will be spicy. You can always reduce or omit. There's plenty of other flavorful ingredients in this that is going to carry it for you. Thank you for joining me in my kitchen and Chef at Home series. This is Chef Sarah.